Good evening to you. To those of you who don't know me, my name is Courtney Crawford, and I live in New York City. And I am too a victim of police brutality. Twice. Let's start with the first incident, which was occurred on January 23rd, 2020, approximately 1 a.m. at the Lexington and 125th train station in Harlem, New York. I was walking my dog Lulabelle, which everyone knows she's a service dog. She's a pit bull, and everybody knows how fly we get. You know, Lulabelle is a very known, special baby around the neighborhood in New York. Everyone knows her, so she's very loved. And everyone knows me too as a pillar of the community and doing right things and helping others and just being the great person that I am. However, I like to share my story. So we are at this particular time. It's January 20th, 2020 at 1:30 a.m. in the morning. Approximately, we get to the train station. I walk her off leash. She has pearls, denim jacket on. I have my fabulous Bentley cape on or whatever. So she begins to walk down into the train station ahead of me. And I usually put her on a leash, in public places. I was going to put her on a leash. She kind of just went down in the train station without me. So it was a white officer, which I am still waiting for the footage from the CCRB, Civilian Complaint Review Board, to do their investigation, and I've yet to do my investigation. I still got some digging to do, but anyhow, she goes down into the train station. This white officer says to MTA officer stands in front of the entry of the gate, says to me, looks me up and down, look her up and down, put the bitch on a leash before I put her in a kennel. As a service dog, we've been through this whole animal rights thing. I know her rights, I know my rights. So I began to say to him, I said, well, the American with Disability Act says, that, and I began to explain to him. So the officer says, he's really pissed then, because, he's like, oh, gives me this look like, who the fuck is this nigga talking to me like this? Well, the American with strolls up his phone. The American with Disability Act says you must want a summons. I said, well, sure, I love a summons, but I don't want any trouble. Then Lulabelle, in the midst of me, explaining this to him, Lulabelle goes over to this MTA token booth lady, which she's admired Lulabelle. She's rubbing her, and she's talking to Lulabelle. And Lulabelle, come here, baby. Come here, honey. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on up here with daddy. See Daisy. Come on, honey. Let me get this angle right here, honey. Hold on. Anyhow, so the token booth lady, we got to get the angle right. So the token booth lady then says to Lulabelle, oh, she's such a cute dog. She's a pretty dog. And she's talking to my baby. She said, oh, she doesn't need a leash on her. You don't need a leash on your baby. He needs a leash on him. I began to sigh and with a relief to take me away from all that negative energy that he was giving me at that moment. However, when I said to him, I would love a summons, but I wouldn't want any trouble. He says, oh, I love trouble. I should have never turned my back to him, but I had to go get her to put on a leash. So I began to go get her to put her on a leash or whatever. I had the leash in my hand, and she began to, as she's talking to Lulabelle, I'm like, oh, okay, kind of let me I should never turn my back to him. Then I turn around, I'm waiting for my summons, and he's like, get the bitch and put her. I'm like, okay, sir, I'm trying to put her on a leash. and takes out his pepper spray, mace. Pepper sprays the shit out of me. Shh. But it really was cold outside, so it was kind of spraying funny, thick. And I'm shaking it off. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, you know, what is this for? Like, takes his taser, tasers me in my jacket. I had on a jacket hoodie. Didn't work. Then begins to, I don't know, I'm still trying to grab my baby so I can put her on the leash. Fine. I'm like, come here, little bell, come here, little bell. Turn around, and he grabs me by my I had on a Bentley Religions cape. Pause for 1 second, please. Okay, are we back? Okay. I have on this cape here. You know, looking fabulous and all this. So he grabs my cape and he rips it off. And then I'm like, what are you doing? He obviously wanted trouble. So I'm like, don't put your hands on me. I'm waiting for my son. What are you doing? And then when he does that, I'm telling Lulabelle, I fear her coming, you know. I'm like, yeah, he wants to, you know, harm my baby and me. This, you know, this is so horrible. So I'm like trying to get my baby, because when, you know, anybody knows that a dog is going to protect their owner. So I'm trying to, then I think, like, when he puts his hand, I'm like, what are you doing? Lulabelle, please come, no bite, no bite. So when she comes over to me, she's coming over to protect me. Then I say, no bite, baby. As soon as I say no bite, they taser me in my neck right here. Let's see if y'all can see this. Right here. Taser hits my neck. Psst. And I don't know if they tasered her at the same time too, but she bites me in the leg. I told her no bite, so she didn't bite him. She bit me. I go down immediately. I'm screaming. I'm saying, call the FBI, CIA, call Barack Obama, Michelle, call my grandmother, call my auntie, call. I'm just yelling out numbers for someone to call, because I'm just like, oh my God, they're trying to kill me. They're trying to wrap the taser things around my hands, and I'm thinking they're trying to do it again, just give me another shock. It's just so devastating, y'all. It's so heartbreaking and traumatizing. I'm on the ground, and this every bit of 300-pound man, white man, has his knee in my neck too as well. My back, like, I'm not resisting arrest. I'm just yelling out, you know, because there were other passengers getting off the train. So I'm yelling out, you know, so they could, you know, help, you know, like the attention, you know, you understand what I'm saying? They stick something in my hand. I don't know what it was, some type of drug, a hallucination drug. Then it makes me calm down. I'm like, oh my God, I start seeing shit, and I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? And then it calms me down so much that I'm quiet. This lady out of nowhere, her name was Flocka, Laura. She has Lulabelle. She's like, I got your dog so they won't hurt your dog. I got your dog so they won't hurt your dog. I didn't know who this lady was. She's an angel, y'all. She really had my baby. And they began to, the paramedic, MTA, MTA, oh gosh, EMS worker, emergency service, ambulance lady. Thank God for my sisters, okay? Because she had me. She's like, okay, get him up off the ground. And then she put me in a stretcher, and they began to take me to the Harlem hospital. I was so heartbroken. I'm like, and then I'm hallucinating. I don't know what the drug was. And I just saw, I'm just watching me being taken away, and I thought they were gonna kill me. I thought I was gonna die. That was the last day I was going to see Lulabelle, and I was gonna live. So they ride. See, this is another black short MTA officer, and you know, I understand. You know, I don't think he knew what was going on with what the situation was, but when another officer calls for backup, you know, other officers are gonna come back him up. You know, whatever the situation is. So he was the other officer to help the white MTA officer to back him up. So they rode with me to the hospital. Oh no, mind you, let me go back. Let me back it up. So before they pick me up and take me into stretcher, this is like maybe after I guess I started feeling the medicine, whatever thing, the drug that they put in me. It was at least 6 other police, MTA police officers standing around me in a circle. I looked them all in the eyes, every last one of them, because I just thought I was gonna die. I just thought this was the last day of my life. I look them all in the eyes, and they're like, "You think his powers are gone?" Take me to the hospital. By then, I'm just, Lord, I'm really hallucinating. I'm like, the blood of Jesus. I'm pleading the blood of Jesus. I'm in the name of Jesus. I'm calling on the Lord's name. And that's the basics of that brutality police, horrible, horrific incident. Now let's fast forward a little bit. The hospital didn't know what was going on. They had no clue. That he didn't. No police report. No, they thought he was gonna get away. That area right there, over there, is so sad, because it is, a methadone clinic over there. There's homeless. There's aunties, uncles on drugs. They leaning in the streets. It's so sad to walk that area. But of course, like, I live on the edge of Harlem and Bronx. Anyhow, very sad. I always strive to do whatever I can and help those who are in need, and find a solution to help those homeless, addicts, and drug users. If it's give them something to eat or dress them or whatever I could do, I'm doing it. And this is a fact. However, I get to the hospital. Okay, so they begin to put me on. They take me, transfer me to whatever. Then, okay, so this was 23rd January. So fast forward. I'm trying to stay to the facts. Fast forward. Okay, the hospital had no idea what what had happened. They just know I was tasered, so I had to be treated or whatever. So I still didn't know where Lulabelle was. She wasn't with me. She's my service dog. She wasn't with me. The hospital took care of me, except for one, one incident. Okay, so when I'm discharged, I gotta get my other paper. When I'm discharged from the scene, they say, okay, you can go home. I didn't have my bags and clothes. I was still kind of like out of it. So I'm like, I just want my Lulabelle. Like, I'm going to get Lulabelle. I'm just like, that's the only thing on my mind, my baby. And I proceed to go get Lulabelle, but I had no clothes on. So they're like, sir, you're naked. There's women in church on them. Like, you said I was I wasn't like in my right mind. So anyway, they take this big, huge needle and stick me, and then they put me right back to sleep. Wake up again, and then I'm in shit, whatever the needle was. I'm cut, like I'm sitting in a bunch of feces of a bunch of my shit. And two nurses are like, you can go, but you have to wipe your own ass, and threw the wipes at me. And so it's immediately when I got up, my whatever, that it was just making my bowels move. So as soon as I stood up to clean myself, my bowels began to move, shat on the floor. I was already pissed. I mean, I wiped myself and threw the shit on the wall. Threw it on the wall. I wasn't trying to be funny, but that really pissed me off. So I wiped my, got my clothes on. I'm out the hospital. Still had the IV in my arm. Pause this for a second. Still have the IV in my arm when I leave. They never took the IV out of my arm. Okay? You see this, guys? I have this as evidence, okay? Anyway, I leave the hospital and make my way back to my home to find Lulabelle. So long story short, like just horrified, didn't know where she was, didn't know what was going on. Immediately, so I spring into, like, once I become, I get back to my house. I didn't have my house keys. They stole my house keys. I had a little bit of champagne, a little bit of weed, but whatever. They stole like some of my stuff out my bag, but that was the least thing. I didn't have my house keys to get in the house, so thank God I had, at the time, I had a friend, quote unquote friend, that I was dating, and he had another pair of my house keys, so I had to go get my house keys. And that morning, I began to just make the steps to go get Lulabelle. So I called down to the headquarters where the MTA, which is in Union Square Station, to see if they had made a report or don't know where my dog is. They don't know. They don't know. Call the shelters. So I called the shelters. I began to go down to the shelters. I went to the dog shelters. Broke my heart. Go through every single. I'm crying the whole way. Every single dog looking for Lulabelle. Go to the precinct. They're saying, oh, well, we don't know. Some lady picked your dog up, and we don't know what happened, and we got real police work to do. But there's other dogs in the shelter. Excuse me. Devastated. Thank God for friends. My friend Harper came down from, he has another service dog too, so he knows as well as what's going on. Comes down from upstate New York. He's like, whatever we need to do, we'll do it. Where he works at BuzzFeed. So we went to BuzzFeed, made hundreds of flyers. By that time, it was like Friday night going into Sunday morning. Saturday going into Sunday morning, which was the morning Kobe Bryant died. So I make this text now number. We make hundreds of flyers. Pause for a second. Okay, we're back. We make hundreds of flyers like this. Just reward missing Lulabelle. Okay, anyhow, we hang these all the way up, all around the MTA train station on the 456 on Lexington and 125th, all the way around the train station, all in the downtown, in the train station. So we finished about 3:30 in the morning, and tired, maybe 200 flyers, just really trying to find my baby. Get a phone call from a gentleman. He's like, oh yeah, I was there with you when you were assaulted. I saw your flyer. It was one left. We Lady Flocka has your dog and she's safe, and I'm on the way back to her. You can pick her up. Immediately go get her. I was reunited with Lulabelle, and again, Flocka, I love you so much. Thank you for taking care of my baby. And that just I'm just so grateful and so humble that you were able to take care of my baby. You put your life in on the line to make sure that they did not harm my baby. She said that when they were detaining me and stuff, they went to go get Lulabelle, but she hovered her and said, you don't touch. They were going to tase her. Don't touch her. I have your pension. She had no home. She lived in a tent in a park. It was cold outside. A tent in a park. And kept my baby safe. This just goes to show you there are good Samaritans out there. Good people. I am no longer silent on this information, on this issue of the police being brutality police, because like I said, I am a victim. But until you go through this, you cannot never understand. It's so traumatizing. It's very hurt. It's just, to be able to talk about it, tell your story. It's deeper than that. It's mentally, I haven't had any counseling about this. None of that. It's so heartbreaking. I did all the steps to make sure that, I did this the right way. The Civil Complaint Review Board, which is a joke, has not, they're waiting to get the footage from the MTA footage in the body cameras. Have not heard anything from them yet. Now I need you as the public to come together peacefully. We want change. What it is change, okay? And I have connections. So these connections, if you love me, you love Lulabelle, let's do this right. Make it happen, okay? Because this is the last thing I need. I cannot feel safe, walk my service dog, without someone judging and just totally violating our rights. We're better than this, people. We do matter.